Be not thou far from me, O Lord.
Saving Private Ryan didn't just revive the war movie genre, it redefined it. The film brought history back in a terrifyingly real way, filled with blood, sand, and silence. But behind those epic scenes are tons of weird facts, behind-the-scenes secrets you might have never heard. Let's dive into 20 weird facts you didn't know about this masterpiece, and don't miss a super shocking bonus fact at the end of the video. Stand clear, the sparks are about to fly. The D-Day landing scene in Saving Private Ryan had a stronger impact than anyone expected, deeply shaking viewers. Veterans and audiences reacted intensely. They panicked, felt nauseous, and experienced vivid war flashbacks. Steven Spielberg recreated the chaos and horror of battle to the point where many felt not like watching a movie but going back to that very historical moment. This level of authenticity had an impact beyond imagination, leading the U.S. Department of Defense to use the film for PTSD training. The Department of Veterans Affairs, VA, even set up a special hotline to support soldiers affected by the memories the film brought back. The chilling accuracy of this scene reconfirmed the film's position as an important historical document. Spielberg truly wanted the fear expressed by the actors to be real fear, conveyed directly to the audience. This wasn't just entertainment, it was a soul-touching experience. A wake-up call about the brutality of war. The gunshots in the film sound incredibly real, and that's not from fake effects, but sounds recorded as authentically as possible. The sound designers used actual World War II weapons to create the audio effects. They fired these guns into different surfaces like sand, water, and metal to capture every vivid sound.
Short, Peyton, McDonald, Parks, you're next!
These raw and haunting sounds were then fed into the actors' earpieces right on set. This meant that the fear displayed on screen was largely the actors' genuine survival instinct, not just acting. Spielberg wanted that fear to be real, a fear that couldn't be faked. This meticulous approach turned every gunshot, every explosion into a powerful blow to the viewer's senses. It was the chilling authenticity in the sound design that elevated the film, making audiences feel like they were truly present on the battlefield. The explosions you see on screen were entirely real, not CGI or computer graphics as many might think. When bombs and grenades exploded, real sand flew up and scattered across the set. Spielberg and the production team intentionally didn't tell the actors the exact timing of the explosions. This was a deliberate strategy to recreate the chaos, surprise, and high stakes of real combat. This way, the cameras could continuously capture the actors' most genuine, unscripted reactions. The fear, startled reactions, and self-preservation instincts they showed were completely natural. This bold filmmaking approach brought a level of authenticity that few war movies have achieved. It made audiences feel the imminent and unpredictable danger of war. The jagged metal X shapes on the beach in the film weren't props created for filming. They were actual Czech hedgehogs anti-tank traps, widely used in World War II. Originally, these traps were designed to stop tanks on land. However, the German army repurposed them to block Allied landing craft on the beach. But they made a fatal miscalculation. They miscalculated the tide. The Germans believed the tide would be high when the Allies landed, hiding the traps underwater. Instead, the Allies landed at low tide, making most of the traps useless and easily spotted. Spielberg based the scene on this historical detail. This not only added to the authenticity, but also showed the film crew's meticulous research. Did these behind-the-scenes details blow your mind? Comment yes if you learned something new today. The original script for Saving Private Ryan seemed perfect, but Steven Spielberg surprisingly rejected it. He didn't want a script that was too neat or too formulaic. Instead, he wanted it to be more like a memory, fragmented and raw. Robert Rodat, the screenwriter, was asked to rewrite the entire script from scratch. Spielberg emphasized that he wanted the script to have rough edges, reflecting the brutality and imperfection of war. He didn't want a war movie with a tight structure or an overly perfect plot. Instead, this great director wanted a film with scars, as if it had experienced the war itself. This bold decision helped the film authentically convey the chaos and pain of war. This is one of the most important factors that made Saving Private Ryan a cinematic classic, breaking all molds. Saving Private Ryan not only had a huge impact on audience emotions and perceptions, but also made box office history. The film grossed over $480 million globally, a massive figure at the time. With this impressive achievement, Saving Private Ryan held the record as the highest-grossing World War II film for almost 2 decades. This proves the timeless appeal of a war story told authentically and emotionally. Furthermore, this was the last R-rated, age-restricted film to top the US box office for 16 years. Not until American Sniper was released was this record broken. The dual artistic and commercial success affirmed Saving Private Ryan's position as a cinematic phenomenon. It proved that a serious, authentic film could still achieve resounding success. The landing boats seen on the beach in the film were not ordinary props or replicas. Steven Spielberg put incredible effort into finding 5 actual World War II landing craft. He restored each part of these vessels, bringing them back to their original condition for use during filming. This meant the cast wasn't just stepping onto a stage set. They truly stepped into history, feeling the breath of the past through every plank of wood, every piece of metal of the boat. More remarkably, 2 of these boats were actually used in the historic DDay landings. This unwavering commitment to authenticity made the film more than just a mere movie. It transformed every scene into a vivid, profound historical recreation. Spielberg wanted a completely unfamiliar, unknown face for the role of Private Ryan so that audiences would truly believe he was just an ordinary soldier. Young, authentic, and not famous at the time, Matt Damon perfectly fit this criterion. However, something unexpected happened that completely changed the film's casting landscape. Before Saving Private Ryan was released, Matt Damon's film Good Will Hunting came out and turned him into an Oscar-winning star. This created a big irony. Audiences going to see Saving Private Ryan saw a movie star, not an anonymous soldier, as Spielberg originally intended. Spielberg himself had to admit this unwillingness, although it didn't affect Damon's acting quality. Other actors considered for the role included Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, Neil Patrick Harris, and Edward Norton. This unexpected fame added an interesting story to the film's production history. The main cast of Saving Private Ryan was sent to a 10-day grueling military training camp to truly experience battlefield life. The goal was for them to understand the fatigue, harshness, and strong camaraderie in the military. However, one person was intentionally excluded from this training. That was Matt Damon, who played Private Ryan. Spielberg wanted the other actors to feel a sense of detachment, bitterness, and even resentment towards Damon's character. The director wanted them to ask themselves if it was worth sacrificing everything for a single soldier. When the cast finally met Damon on set, the desired tension and unfamiliarity were already present, creating genuine reactions on screen. This psychological strategy helped naturally build complex relationships between the characters. This was a unique method to achieve emotional depth and authenticity for the film. Hey, how many secrets have made you go, whoa, so far? Would you bet that the remaining 10 facts will be even more surprising? Especially the secret about the fate of the Enterprise model and Spielberg's own blood money decision? One of the most iconic and powerful lines in Saving Private Ryan, the phrase, "earn this," was not in the original script.
Earn this.
This philosophical line was added by Tom Hanks himself on the day of filming. He uttered it quietly and spontaneously without any prior preparation. Steven Spielberg was immediately deeply impressed by the power and meaning of this line. The director loved it so much that he didn't ask for a retake, keeping the spontaneous and emotional moment. The phrase, "earn this," became the moral backbone of the entire film, synthesizing the message of sacrifice and responsibility. It is a sacred message from the past to the present, a call to live worthy of what was lost. This improvisation created one of the most memorable cinematic moments, leaving a deep impression on audiences. John Williams wrote an amazing score for Saving Private Ryan. But what's special is that for almost the first half hour of the film, audiences didn't hear any music. Steven Spielberg made a bold decision. No music during the terrifying D-Day landing scene. Instead, there were only crashing waves, booming gunfire, and the gasps of soldiers. This silence wasn't an absence. It was a powerful statement, intensifying the terrifying authenticity of the scene. When Williams' music finally played, it further emphasized the cost of war and the emotional depth of the story. This was the 16th collaboration between Williams and Spielberg, a duo that has created countless classics. The cost of recording the score was also significant, showing the serious investment in every aspect of the film. The intentional use of silence created a powerful effect, making the music more meaningful when it did appear. The studio strongly opposed Tom Sizemore playing Sergeant Horvath due to his complicated history of drug addiction. However, Steven Spielberg placed absolute trust in Sizemore's talent and firmly defended his choice. The director issued a blunt ultimatum to Tom Sizemore. He had to take daily drug tests throughout filming, or he would be fired immediately. Spielberg also warned that if Sizemore violated the condition, they would have to reshoot 58 days of completed filming with another actor. Faced with this enormous pressure, Sizemore stayed clean and delivered one of the most authentic performances of his career. He later admitted that the work itself, and Spielberg's trust, kept him alive and helped him get through a difficult period. This story shows Spielberg's commitment to talent, even when it came with risks. Tom Hanks, one of Hollywood's greatest actors, took on the role of Captain John Miller without negotiation or even reviewing the script details. He read the script straight through and immediately told Spielberg that this was not just a mere role. For Hanks, embodying Captain Miller was a heavy responsibility and a great honor. He deeply understood the historical and humanitarian significance the film conveyed, especially for veterans. Even after the film was completed, Hanks continued to visit military hospitals. He also actively supported veterans, demonstrating his deep commitment. Thanks to his contributions and reverence for the armed forces, Hanks was inducted into the U.S. Army Ranger Hall of Fame. This role not only shaped his career but also solidified his image as an artist with heart and vision. The character Private Ryan, the focus of the arduous rescue mission, is not entirely fictional. He is based on a real soldier in history, Fritz Neland. All three of Neland's brothers were reported killed in the war, a heartbreaking tragedy for one family. Immediately, the U.S. Army pulled Fritz Neland from the front lines to ensure he was the family's only remaining son. There's a common misconception that the film is based on the story of the Sullivan brothers, another famous case of brothers' sacrifice. However, screenwriter Robert Rodat found the story of the Neland brothers, and it struck him so profoundly that he decided to develop it into a script. He wanted to pose a deep moral question through the film. Is it truly worth 8 lives to save one? This question formed the foundation for the entire humanitarian message of the work. The final scene of Saving Private Ryan didn't feel staged. It carried a sacred and deeply moving feel. Steven Spielberg filmed this scene at the Normandy American Cemetery, a real historical site in France. The scene unfolds on the very hallowed ground where thousands of fallen American soldiers are buried. Every headstone in the frame marked a fallen soldier, a soldier who never returned home. The decision to film at a real cemetery brought an unparalleled level of authenticity and moral significance to the scene. It was not just an ending to the story, but also a powerful and solemn tribute. Before becoming the big-name action superstar he is today, Vin Diesel was a struggling waiter looking for opportunities in Hollywood. With all his meager savings, he self-produced a short film called Multifacial. Steven Spielberg happened to see this short film and was haunted by Vin Diesel's raw talent. This strong impression led Spielberg to make an unprecedented decision. The great director specifically wrote the role of Caparzo for Vin Diesel, a role created especially for him to join. He was offered the role without having to go through any auditions, a rare privilege in the industry. For this breakthrough role, Vin Diesel received $100,000, a significant amount for an unknown actor. His story is a powerful testament that genuine talent can be discovered and shine from the most unexpected places. Steven Spielberg, one of Hollywood's wealthiest directors, made an extraordinary decision after the resounding success of Saving Private Ryan. He completely refused to accept any salary for directing the film. Spielberg felt it didn't feel right to profit from the tragic story of real soldiers who shed blood and sacrificed. He called the money that should have been his blood money, a powerful term reflecting his moral objection. This decision stemmed from his deep reverence for the soldiers who fought and fell. Instead, the entire amount was quietly and discreetly donated to veterans funds. This noble act proved that for Spielberg, the film's artistic value and humanitarian significance were more important than any personal gain. It's a powerful testament to his integrity and gratitude. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss other weird movie facts we'll reveal. For decades after World War II, countless veterans kept their traumatic experiences to themselves. They carried horrific memories they couldn't express, leading to deep psychological wounds. However, after Saving Private Ryan was released, something was unlocked in the veteran community. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs reported a dramatic increase in World War II veterans seeking psychological counseling. Many of them watched the film, saw themselves in every scene, and felt understood. For the first time in years, even decades, they were able to open up and talk about what they had been through. The film became a powerful therapeutic tool because sometimes a memory needs help to move forward. This was an unimaginable impact of cinema, turning a film into part of the healing process. The famous and incredibly authentic Omaha landing scene in Saving Private Ryan was not filmed at that historical location in France. The French government didn't grant permission for the film crew to execute this large-scale and complex scene on the real Normandy beach. Therefore, the entire landing scene was recreated and filmed in Ireland, specifically at Ballinesker Beach in County Wexford. Spielberg was very meticulous in recreating the brutality of the battlefield. He used over 40 barrels of fake blood to recreate the horrific scene of bloodshed and casualties. The skillful direction and cinematography completely convinced audiences of the setting, even though it wasn't the original location. This proves the filmmaking team's ingenuity in creating absolute authenticity, regardless of location limitations. Saving Private Ryan is not just a movie. It's a profound cinematic experience that redefined the war genre with its terrifying authenticity and emotional behind-the-scenes stories. Its impact extended far beyond the screen. And here's the bonus fact I promised: a most powerful moment, not in the film, but that silenced an entire orchestra. At the score recording session in Boston, John Williams asked Tom Hanks to read Abraham Lincoln's Bixby letter. The entire orchestra quietly put down their instruments. No one had dry eyes. This is a testament to the emotional and artistic power of Saving Private Ryan that transcended the screen. Don't miss other amazing movie facts in our upcoming videos.